What's up YouTube, it's Lockinerd here. It is Saturday, so that means another installation of Rockstun to Tier 1. This is episode 3, dealing with Backrows. I'm going to show you quite a few cards that can help you deal with problematic Backrows, especially this format. Since there are quite a few Backrows, I wouldn't say it's as exaggerated as some people make it out to be, like you're always facing a huge field of Backrow. I would probably say like there's a 50-50 chance that you'll be going up against a huge Backrow on your first turn or later in the game, you know. So I believe all these cards I'm about to show you will help you deal with those problematic Backrows. So starting off, Gigantes, what he is, he's relatively older. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know what he does. You remove an Earth-type monster from your graveyard, you special summon him, and when he's destroyed by battle, he destroys all spell and trap cards on the field. So very well in an aggressive Rockstun deck. He can definitely, you know, just teleport out of nowhere and just start, you know, wrecking havoc. And then if your opponent is forced to waste the resource like Smashing Ground or Dimensional Prison to get rid of him to save their back row. So I definitely think he can, you know, put pressure on your opponent that way. And plus he's 1900 attack, so he, you know, generally fits in well with all the Quackimeros. So if you're running a very aggressive build, definitely play this guy. Second, Gigglestone Omega. I probably wouldn't recommend this card in every build. I think there's probably only 2 or 3 builds, or not even that, maybe like one build I could see this guy, you know, fitting in. And you might not know what he does, so I'm just going to read him word for word for you guys. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card can only be special summoned by removing from play 2 earth monsters from your graveyard. When this face-up card you control is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. So he's a little better than Gigantes because he only destroys your opponent's spell and traps, but the fact that you need to remove 2 earth monsters just to get out this puny weakling who's only 1000 attack and 2300 defense, 2300 defense, I guess the combo I could see is, you know, just setting him in defense, and if your opponent can't run over him, they're gonna have to get rid of him like with Smashing Ground or something, and then that will cause their back row to get blown up. So honestly, you know, you can try this guy out, but I don't know. He's a rock, so I figured with he's a rock monster with a field spell and trap nuking effect. So I just felt like I kind of needed to show him, just because he's like Gigantes in a way. But that's all I have for monsters. Spells. Obviously, Mystical Space Typhoon, you know, everybody I think is pretty much running 2, at least 1. So, yep, picking off random back row is always awesome, especially during your opponent's turn. Forbidden Lance is a newer card. I'm sure you guys all know what it does because it is rising in popularity. It is actually rising in price too, I believe. And this card will definitely help you make a push with your monster. Like if you want to summon like a Thunder King Ryo or a Quackimero Guardian or just something like that into a field or back row, you can always keep this in your hand, and you can you summon the Chain Bottomless Trapple, Torrential Tribute, or any, you know, Chain Link 1 traps, I guess, or spells. I think it is spell speed 2 actually. Traps are spell speed 2. Any spell speed 2 traps, you can definitely chain this to save your monster. Or, you know, you can also use it as a general utility card. Like if your opponent tries to dark hold the field, you can, you know, save a monster and stuff. So I definitely think this can be used offensive and defensively, and it is a very good card, I believe. You know, the 800 attack point loss that you lose, I think, is definitely worth it if you're protecting your field for a little while. So I definitely recommend Forbidden Lance, even like Tech that 1 in all decks, you know. Obviously, Trap Stun turns off all traps for a turn, so use this in aggressive Rock Stun decks. Avoidant Catastrophe, again, this probably wouldn't be expected in a Rock Stun. I know I probably wouldn't play it in my build because I like to have a lot of spell and traps, but then again, if you are playing really aggressively and you don't, you know, normally have a whole bunch of back row, you can definitely fit this card in, and you know your opponent probably won't be expecting this coming out of a Rock Stun deck, so this would be a very good surprise factor actually. And you know what, you might even cause them to like burn up a 7 tools or something that you can, you know, then you can make a push with a different trap that way, I guess. Royal Decree, again, if you're playing very aggressive and you're not running any like traps at all, you could definitely just run 3 Royal Decree. I probably wouldn't recommend that because Rockstun wouldn't be all that great without the back row support that it needs. I suppose there are builds I could utilize it, but I just really don't see it being all that effective. But it is an option, so I felt like I should throw it out there. Next, obviously, 7 Tools of the Bandit. I would recommend this at 1 at least in any Rockstun build, pretty much, unless you are running some weird Royal Decree variant. But 7 Tools, I think, is becoming a very, very, very popular trap. It was very popular last format, and it's just increasing in popularity this format as well. So definitely, 7 Tools never hurt anybody. And lastly, Dust Tornado. I really am falling in love with Dust Tornado. Like, just the ability to pick off like a Solemn Warning on your opponent's turn with Dust Tornado is just like the added destruction is great. Running 2 Dust Tornadoes and 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, just you're gonna control back row for a little while, and it's really good. You know, I just love it. I think, you know, people maining 2 Dust Tornadoes, you can't go wrong with that. 2 Dust Tornadoes, 7 Tools, and 2 MSTs. That would be, you know, like my ideal monster hate. And then maybe Giant Trunade, which you know, honestly, how could I forget Giant Trunade? So, yep, Dust Tornado very well, and just because I just remembered it, grab it real quick. And Giant Trunade you could throw in there too. Giant Trunade, what I would use it for in Roxton is just a push. Like if you just reset all their back row, then summon in like a Thunder King and maybe special summon like a Gigantus or something, you know, and just proceed to wreck there. So yep, I can't believe I forgot Giant Trunade, but you know, I caught it at the end, so we're gonna throw that guy in there. Just a real quick, we'll go backwards of all the cards I showed. Dust Tornado, 7 Tools of the Bandit, Royal Decree, Malvoyant Catastrophe, Trap Stun, Forbidden Lance, Mystical Space Typhoon, Giant Trunade, Gigastone Omega, and Gigantus. So that was Rockstun to Tier 1 Episode 3, dealing with back row. Next episode, Episode 4, will be Boss Monsters. And so, yep, definitely rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know if I'm doing well with this series. Any other thing that you would like to comment, any other cards I might have missed, you know. So, yep, take care, enjoy your Saturdays, and see you next time. Akinator out.